If coronavirus scares you, wash your hands. If pandemics make you nervous, wash your hands. If an epidemic scares you, then my friends, we're here to tell you the best thing you can do is wash your hands. Wash your hands. Wash your freaky hands.
And these are 5 tips that will help you deal with uncertainty. What's up everyone? Welcome back to Free to Be. David here, and thank you for joining me in another video. And today we're going to be talking about how to cope with uncertainty. I know right now it's prevalent in our society. We have so many questions. Am I going to have a job 6 months from now? Am I going to be able to pay my rent? Do I have to find a new job? Am I going to be able to take care of my family? And in today's video, I'm going to go over 5 tips to help you deal with uncertain times, especially given the nature of the world right now. So make sure you watch this entire video because all 5 of these things are going to be extremely helpful if you find yourself feeling uncertain and really vulnerable in this time. Now, before we get started, if you're new to the channel, we cover financial literacy on here, as well as general lifestyle tips and my creative energy from time to time. And the hope is that I basically capture my path to financial independence, and in doing so, I build a blueprint that you can use and others can use as well. So if you haven't done so already, please take a second and go ahead and click the subscribe button down below. It'll really mean a lot to have your support, and I hope to keep bringing you guys useful content that you can apply in your everyday lives. And if you're not new, thanks for joining me again today. Now again, in today's world, we're finding ourselves dealing with uncertainty more than we have perhaps in our entire lives so far. Rest assured that you're not the only person going through this. There's other people going through this as well. In fact, millions of people in this country across the world are going through this too. And so we're going to be talking about the 5 things you can kind of do to help cope with it and understand that, there is a bigger picture here and that everything will work itself out eventually. Now, that's not to say that the situation that we're dealing with right now with COVID-19 specifically is something that you should take lightly. I mean, it is a serious issue. Make sure you're taking care of yourself and putting what you need to do in place in order to do that. That goes social distancing and good hygiene. Those are key here. But at the same time, there's certain things that we have to understand that are beyond our control that we're not going to be able to basically have a hold on to control the outcome of. I can't control if other people are practicing social distancing as well, so I need to let go of that. Which brings us to the first tip, and that is to let go. I understand that we're dealing with uncertainty, and I understand that it's hard to do this, but you have to understand that certain things are just not going to be in your control. The way you do this is twofold, right? You understand that there is a bigger picture and there's tons of different variables in the world, and you understand that you're doing the maximum amount that you can be doing to basically put yourself in a good position. And beyond that, there are factors that are not in your control, so you just have to be willing to let it go. Understand that dealing with a little bit of uncertainty from time to time is a tolerable type of atmosphere for you to be able to handle. And just having a little bit of a handle on that uncertainty, on the fact that you can let go and say, hey, this is not going to be defining me right now at this point in my life. Just that little bit of control basically gives you a little bit of leverage in terms of dealing with it. So first and foremost, let go. Understand that it's okay not to have control of this situation just by controlling as much as you can. And ultimately, you have to recognize that there's only so much you can do. And that's not to say that you're powerless in the situation. That just makes you human. As human beings, we have limitations to what we can do and what we can handle. Our, pain threshold in terms of, handling certain situations. We have limitations. So understand that that is not necessarily a bad thing here. It's just what makes you human, and there's other humans on this planet going through the same thing as you. All right, so the second tip here is try to envision the best. As humans, we often set ourselves up by thinking of the worst case scenario, the worst thing that could possibly happen in any given situation. And a lot of times by doing this, by envisioning the worst case scenario, we're almost building the self-fulfilling prophecy for ourselves for anything that can go wrong to go wrong. Instead, try to have a positive look on it. Look, it's been proven that people often overestimate the risks of any given situation that they're in terms of evaluating the worst case scenario. And what that ends up leading to is a lot more anxiety and unnecessary anxiety. This could be something that's easily avoided. So instead, try to be positive, focus on the good things that are going on in your life at this time. Maybe you want to do some risk evaluation. Maybe you do want to be prepared for some things that can go wrong, but don't be focused on those things. Right now is not the time to think that everything that's going to go bad will go bad in that same way that you're thinking that it may. You have to keep a positive outlook on things and just envision the best. All right, so the third tip here to deal with uncertain times is to take a beat. Take a moment and just reflect on the past. Because odds are you have dealt with uncertain times before. This isn't something novel to us, right? So usually we think that the current situation is the worst situation we've ever been to. But if we take one step back, just take a moment and think about everything that's gone on in your life to this point. I'm sure that there have been situations that you've been in that had also contributed to some anxiety, some uncertain times for you in your life. And just think about how those things played out, how you were thinking at that moment, how you overcame those struggles, how you understood that situation. Just take a beat and reflect on that, because oftentimes the solutions you're looking for, the answers you're looking for in this current moment could be answered from you just taking a moment and reflecting and kind of working your way through the things that happened in your past. So the third tip, and to me the most important tip, is to take a moment and just think about everything that's gone on in your life and try to find a similar situation that'll help guide you through this current one, that'll give you some answers and perspective. All right, so the fourth tip is to avoid avoidance. And what this means is don't just forget about the uncertain time that you're facing. It's proven that a little bit of uncertainty in our lives can actually help motivate us and help push us to where we want to be so that we're a little bit more stable and grounded in our footing in terms of our life and just our standards. So a little uncertainty is good. On the opposite end of this spectrum, a lot of uncertainty and a lot of anxiety in your life could almost be paralyzing. It could stop you from moving forward. So avoiding the issues. Look at the issues, analyze the issues the best you can, but continue moving forward. You know, you don't want to be paralyzed by the situation that's occurring, because that could lead to some long-term effects for you, and that's just a no-no. You don't want to have to deal with that. So avoiding the issue, think about it for a second, but then move on. Use it as motivation as opposed to something that paralyzes you and stops you in your tracks from progressing, from getting to those goals that you had before all these uncertain times came into play. Continue moving forward, because that's the only way you can get through it. And the final tip here is to see the possibilities that could come out of this situation. Look, I know this is going to be scary and a lot of people might end up losing their jobs, but you should look at the possibilities that could come out of that. Maybe you had been working that dead-end job and this is just a push in the right direction. It's a blessing sometimes to have a completely blank slate, to be able to do whatever you want to do. So instead of just envisioning all the worst case scenarios for yourself, see the possibilities. Try to understand that this situation might not be that bad for you. Losing a job that you already hated in the first place might not be the worst thing. This could actually push you to get to those goals you had for yourself in your career, whatever it was for your life, your overall goals. So try to focus on the possibilities instead of the outcome from this current situation, okay? A blank slate is a wonderful thing to have, and if you can just focus on the fact that your opportunities are going to be endless beyond this uncertain period of time, then you'll have a much better outlook on it all, right? The perspective will be much better for you. It'll be a much more positive experience. And it definitely helps to have a positive outlook and a positive attitude about this. So whether it be you hate your current job or you're just not where you want to be in your career, you know, in a weird way, maybe losing your job now can actually help you, push you to where you want it to be, push you to actually strive for those career goals that you have for yourself. So just see the possibilities here. Try to look at the opportunities that can kind of be derived from the situation that we have to face right now. And it'll be just a better experience going through this uncertain period of time. And again, guys, all of this really entails on you being able to handle it. Remember to just continue to have a positive outlook. Look, it could be a lot worse. A lot of us might not have this chance to spend this much time with our families ever again until we're retired and, you know, our kids are way older or, you know, parents are gone, whatever the fact may be. This is a beautiful time to spend with your family, spend on yourself. I know it's tough to be quarantined. I understand that it's tough to be living in an uncertain period of time, worrying about your job, worrying about your mortgage, worrying about any kind of money issue. This is not going to be something that's going to be lasting forever. Focus on the positive things and you'll be able to get through it. All right, guys, well, that's all I had for this video. Please remember to keep practicing social distancing. That's the only way we're going to be able to win here. Make sure you're washing your hands. If you're new to the channel, please go ahead and subscribe. If you enjoyed this video, let me know in the comments down below. And don't forget to hit the like button, and we'll see you next time.